Let's discuss.
Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another reaction video, and today I am stoked because Static Dress has put out a new song from their upcoming album, Rouge Carpet Disaster, which I'm excited for. At this point, we're about a month out from the album, so this may be the final single, but I don't know. It is called Fleahouse, and Static Dress is awesome. I've done a few videos about them now on the channel. We are going to do a stream for the album when that drops. I've been loving the singles. Other than that, I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it. Static Dress, Fleahouse, let's discuss. Consistently with this band, I know I've mentioned it in both the EP video that I did last year where I talked about my favorite EPs and in my reaction videos for them, but they just don't do anything that doesn't sound really neat. And I know so many people default to immediately mentioning the influences that they hear and this sounds like 2000s stuff, and I get it, but at this point I feel like it's beyond, it's more than that, because we know, and like everyone says that every time they drop a song, but I feel like they have to get sort of irritated with that being the constant like one comment that people default to. Maybe it's not, but I get a lot of those comments when I do reactions, and for me it's a bit surprising because I feel like that's not very typical for people. Like, people usually hear a lot beyond that, and with Static Dress, like with these two most recent singles, Such a Shame and Fleahouse, I feel there's something, it was what I mentioned about it having a bit of a sound like the vocalist of Microwave. There's a bit of that style in this too. It doesn't sound like Microwave to me at all. all like in such a shame when I heard that, but it just shows a different side of all these vocals, because really for a band with one vocalist, the variety of vocals we're getting are really impressive in itself. And I feel like beyond, you know, the influences that you may be able to hear whatever, the modern sound that they pull into this is really what sticks out to me even more so than that. It's just very cool, the song structure being switched up a bit between the tracks, but them having a really signature sound in the build-up. Like, I'm becoming very familiar with some of like the Sam's parts in the build-up. That was hard. Build up for choruses and such, and this was very on point with their sound, while still giving it a different flavor, I would say, than the singles that were on Prolo. And I guess it just has a very specific sound when you single out these singles, as it's supposed to. So really catchy stuff, but at the same time it has that, I'm not sure what it is that draws me so much to the instrumentals here, but for me, the end with that guitar bit, I really like to see that. I hope that in the full album we'll see a little bit more of the guitar sort of getting the spotlight in some places, because a band like this with such a short discography that's new hasn't had the full chance. And I know that with the EP, that was really like their introduction, to be continued type of deal, and the album will be more of a full release, which makes sense because, you know, much more time and such. So I'm really interested to hear more like what the end of this song sounded like, sort of how this came in with the more aggressive vocals, while overall it didn't. I had a moment where I was like, is this gonna be like one of those tracks? But it had a different feel to it that I think I like it a bit better than Such a Shame, but both of them are just incredible. So even the songs that are at the bottom of my Static Dress tier list, they're still very high up in the ranks of songs in general, if that makes sense. So even there's no misses for Static Dress for me. So I love the sound that they have. I'm very excited for this album. I'm expecting it to be in my top 5, I would say, with how their discography has been for me, with how their sound has been. Each person in the band having moments that stick out. That's something I talk about on the channel, on the bands that I really revisit the most. So getting a chance to hear some of that bass, some of the guitar like I was talking about, the impressive vocals, kind of getting familiar with the drumming sound for Static Dress, that sort of stuff. So hearing this, I'm very stoked for the album. There have been no bad singles for me in general from Static Dress. Just very stoked on this band. So let me know what you thought in the comments. I will leave the Static Dress music video link in the description, as well as all of their social media. Pre-orders for the album, all of that stuff will be in the description. So other than that, you can also find my link tree in the description, which will have the invite for the Discord server that I talk about in every single video. The Discord server has a bunch of my favorite people. We've got music-related conversation unrelated to music as well, like video games, pets, computers, stuff like that. So if you're interested in coming to join and check out the community, that will be there, as well as my Instagram profile link. On Instagram, I do post all music-related stuff, sometimes on my story about new YouTube videos, or the chart I post every Friday of what I've listened to the most over the course of that week. Top 25, EPs, albums, singles, whatever I've listened to the most that week. I post that, as well as merch, my never-ending merch collection, so I post a lot of that, and then shows sometimes if I've been to a show recently and have pictures or videos to share, that sort of stuff. You get the idea. So my handle on there is Rachel Reacts, just like my YouTube channel, but as I mentioned, it will be in the link tree in the description if you have any interest in following me. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.